Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood and Superman Guy, back with another match from round 1 of the Napoleon Total War subscriber tournament. And Zuper, who is fighting in this one?
Here we've got Azrail as Prussia here against Russisgod, and he'll be playing as the Ottoman Empire. You'll see him in a second.
Yep, and one quick note on that, gamer tags can be kind of ambiguous to say, so sorry if we mess up any of your names. I'm pretty sure we got Azrail right. Russisgod could be Russisgod or whatever. If I messed up your name, if we messed it up, we apologize.
No regrets.
But anyways, while we are in the deployment phase, this is the Galician map, and this was one of the maps, obviously, that I allowed the contestants to choose from for the tournament. And this is probably my favorite one in the tournament because there's such variations in terrain. All these little rolling hills and forests and stuff, and even some occupiable buildings. So that's what they are fighting on today. I don't know, I think it's a good map. Would you not agree?
I would think so. I know in the past you've mentioned the ability to use hilltops to minimize range disadvantages, and this seems a good map for that in particular.
Yeah, there's
if you move around carefully.
Yeah, a lot of different ways you can approach. Anyways, you want to go ahead and take us through Azrael's Prussian army?
Alright, so leading the charge, it appears that Azrael is going to have 5 units of Prussian Fusiliers, and those are a strong skirmishing unit. Behind them, he's got 5 of Prussian Musketeers, standard line infantry. Behind them, he's got a standard general staff, and behind them, 2 units of foot guard. And he's got another unit of foot guard somewhere.
Does he? I think.
I thought he had.
That might be it, actually.
You know, I believe you're right.
That is right, yeah.
All right. Sure, why not? And he has 5 separate units of cav. In the woods on his left flank, he's got 2 units of cuirassiers. And in between the cuirassiers and his actual line is a unit of lancers. And then on his far right, he's got 3 more units of 2 more cuirassiers. Oh no, 1 cuirassier
lancers.
and
Yeah.
2 lancers. Yes.
Yep, and then now we can see the Ottoman army, and thank God it happened. I know in a previous battle, Zuper and I were hoping that at some point we might see an Ottoman rush army. It's kind of risky to do in a tournament, but Russisgod has decided to go forward with it, and that is why there is this horde of melee infantry here. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. This is a decent map for it too. But anyways, his army composes of 4 rifle units up front, of the Ottoman rifle units. I'm not going to try to pronounce them. Someone told me how to in the comments section once, and I just forgot it. I have trouble pronouncing these units. But behind them, he has 4 of the Ottoman standard line infantry as well. And that's pretty much his whole infantry component of rifled and musket units there. Then followed by, behind that is the meat of his army, and this is what he is hoping will win the battle. He's got 3 of these Bashi bazooks here up front, followed by 4 of the Kamat Janissary units. And all of these guys have a ton of upgrades in them. He has got 3 chevrons on every single one of these melee units, so he is really hoping that they are going to do some damage.
All right. Before we see, actually, never mind. Go ahead. Finish the army.
Yeah, he actually brought a historical general, which is interesting. Not just the standard general. This is Ibrahim Basha, I believe. Yeah.
Seems like it.
There he is in the green. And then for cavalry, he has 2 of the Salatar Guard, 1 on either flank if I can find them. There's 1 of them. And these are absolutely incredible cavalry units. Great on the charge and great in melee as well. And then 2 of the mounted rifle cavalry here. And that is pretty much his entire army there.
Alright, so you mentioned that a lot of his melee infantry is upgraded. What do you think that will accomplish, and do you think it was a good move?
So the upgrades, basically, I believe in Napoleon the way they work, you know, it's upping his attack, and it might up morale a little bit, might make them last a little longer, but mainly it's upgrading their combat stats. So these guys are just going to be more effective. They will be able to kill enemies faster if they actually reach the enemy lines. And it's a risk doing that, because with those upgrades, I mean, that's a lot of upgrades there. He might have been able to afford some more units, maybe not, but he obviously decided to make this melee rush as powerful as possible.
Well, given it is a Ottoman rush build, I imagine it can't have been the worst decision.
Nope, definitely not. It's always good to make sure your main units are set up to do the best that they can. Generally, when you see like this type of Prussian army that Azrail has, it's rare to see upgrades, because having that extra unit is usually more beneficial than making a single unit stronger.
That makes sense.
But with these rush builds, I mean, when I do my rush build, I usually do pretty much the same thing. I put 3 chevrons on my melee units, and it's not that expensive to do, so it's a good move.
All right, so it seems Azrail took note that it is an Ottoman rush build, and made sure to position himself where it's going to be very difficult to avoid the skirmishing entirely.
Oh yeah, they're in a good area for Azrail specifically. There's not a lot of trees and stuff to block fire coming in when that rush build moves forward. And you can see the skirmish has opened up here, and this is something that Prussia should win handily. They have 5 skirmish units to the 4 of the Ottomans, and the Ottoman skirmishers just don't really match up overall to the Prussian ones. I do believe these Ottoman skirmishers have slightly longer range, but clearly the Prussian Fusiliers are in range now, so they should have the advantage there.
I think it's interesting to note that the Prussian skirmishers also have 30 more men per unit than the Ottoman skirmishers. Yeah,
the Ottoman skirmishers are going to be a little bit more accurate, but at this point, with the amount of fire they're taking, those 30 extra men is going to make up for that. Those Ottoman skirmishers, you really want to use them at longer ranges, though once again, as we stated earlier, the hills in this are not really allowing him to do that. And you can see the middle units are already starting to rout under the fire here.
Yeah, they've taken heavy casualties.
And at this point, the entire lines are engaged, so this is, I think this is the largest straight shootout that we have seen thus far in the tournament.
Yeah, it does seem more or less the entirety of both armies is about to be engaged.
And right now what I am showing is one of the mounted rifle units of the Ottomans. They got caught here by the Cuirassier and a Lancer unit, so that unit is quickly going to be taken out in melee combat there, not something they specialize in. And Azrail has a foot guard moving to his left flank.
His right as well.
Okay, yeah. And in the center here, look, there it is. The Ottoman rush is coming in. I would have had them running at this point rather than walking and taking fire, but anyways, a Cuirassier unit is charging in, and this is actually a really good move. A Cuirassier unit is probably going to do better than most infantry units against these types of Ottoman rush units, the melee infantry.
And take note, at this point, Azrail has gotten some of his melee cavalry back behind the Ottoman lines.
Yeah, they're running around finishing off the last of the line infantry, and the other line infantry units are over here charging in melee as well. So instead of keeping firing, he decided he's going to go all out with this melee rush. And the Ottoman rush has actually made it to the Prussian line. So at this point, it's just a matter of, can these units hold them long enough for Azrail to get the proper flanking necessary to take down these melee units, and can the melee units' morale hold out?
Oh, it seems Russisgod's Zolotar Guard on the Prussian right has overcome the Prussian cavalry and is now attacking the foot guards.
Yeah, and let's see here. They got an excellent charge on those foot guards. The foot guards, I believe in the end they should probably be able to inflict a lot of damage on these guys, but they actually might lose this fight. The Zolotar Guard is a tough unit.
As well as there were 2 separate units of the Zolotar Guard.
Yep. And in the middle, the melee rush is doing very well. These musketeer units are starting to get pretty chewed up. This one's down to 39 men. They're going to rout soon. This one is still getting some fire going. That cuirassier unit is still causing problems for them, but once again, the melee rush is pushing in, so we will see.
Though the Prussian left flank seems to have not been caught by really any of the melee, and they're wrapping around now.
Yep, he is reforming, and we will see if they can hold out. The melee units are moving to deal with that, and there they are charging into the musketeers, as well as the general unit. He's got him in with them, which is helping morale, but if he falls, that's going to be quite a blow to the morale of these melee units. And I think here is the bigger issue, these cuirassiers being free behind.
Oh, yeah. And regarding the general being in the combat, seeing as how it is an Ottoman rush bill, it's very clearly an all-or-nothing type of deal. So yeah. I think throwing the general in is a better decision than leaving him out.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, he's obviously committed. Right now, it looks like Prussia's going to be able to pull this one out. These last rush units are surrounded, and their morale is starting to shatter, though they've done a good job. But that looks like that's going to be it. With these types of builds, once you commit, it's not like, you know, if you're losing a gunfight, you can pull back. You got to keep going. To pull back will just take unnecessary losses, and then your rush unit will have to go through the storm of fire again. So he did a good job, at least committing with it. And he's only got one mounted rifle unit left, and they're getting a good volley there into these foot guards. But at this point, that looks like, yeah, that's the last unit. So it looks like Azrail is going to win this one, defeating the rush of the Ottomans.
Oh no, very fun match to watch.
Definitely, and there's an overhead of all the carnage from that battle. He's reforming his last units here, and this mounted rifle unit, they might be able to get another volley or so off, but overall they don't have enough ammunition, nor will they be able to get enough positioning to outshoot all of these Prussian units. So that's going to be the end of this one, I am fairly confident. Watching those rifles off in the distance. They seem to be reforming, and it looks like they're going to move up to charge in. Yep, here they come. So they're going to start taking some fire from musketeer units.
And the Prussian lines have almost completely reformed.
Yeah, now they're pouring fire into this unit, so that's going to be the end of them. There comes the charge into square formation, and that is going to wrap it up. So great game to both players. Russisgod, you get props for taking the risk and doing the Ottoman rush build. That was definitely enjoyable to watch. And we can see the statistics here. Azrail getting 1,358 kills, losing 980 men to that Ottoman rush. And the Ottomans definitely deployed some more troops, but overall those armies were fairly similar in numbers. And the top unit being the musketeers and the cuirassiers for Azrail there.
Yeah, those cuirassiers, once they got behind the Ottoman line, were just wreaking havoc.
Yeah, and those guys, like I said, if you can get some melee cavalry units into the rushing sword units of the Ottomans, that's going to be the best at stopping them. They have a hard time dealing with the cavalry, and it also slows them up so you can get more gunfire into them. But that was definitely a good match. I think the Ottoman rush might have had a slightly better chance of winning had perhaps they spread out their rush a little bit more rather than keeping it as kind of one central blob. Obviously you get the support from having all your units close together, but it did allow Prussia to have some freed up units to keep firing into them, and that's the real danger.
Yeah, once that Prussian left flank was able to wrap around, it sort of spelled the end for the Ottoman swords.
Yep. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. We've got some more for you coming soon, and great game to both players. And Azrail, we will be seeing you in round 2.
Congratulations on the win.
Yep, any other comments on that battle?
I think we're good.
I do too. Okay, guys, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.